Coming up, Shaun feels better.
You're listening to Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Priest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Double Tap for another day. Shaun Priest is feeling good today.
Hey! I feel great. I slept all yesterday, Stephen Scott, and I feel fantastic.
Apologies, by the way, to everyone who listens to us in the middle of the night, you're quietly listening to Double Tap.
Listens in the middle of the night?
Your memory is so bad.
I know exactly where you're going to go. But someone who was listening on a Victor Reader stream while their husband sleeps. Yes, I can't remember who it was, though.
No, because your memory's terrible. But don't ask me. Anyway, how are you? You feeling all right? You feel better?
I do feel 100% better, yes, thank you. And thank you for covering everything yesterday for me, Stephen Scott. You, sir, are a hero.
Well, thank you. I salute you, and you're right.
Thank you.
So listen, I'm getting fed up. I'm going to be honest. I'm fed up today. I'm really fed up.
Don't bring me back down. I'm happy. Why? What's the matter now?
All right, Bruce.
Pardon?
You know remember the ELO song?
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
bring me down, Bruce.
Did they?
Was it Bruce?
I always thought I was mishearing that, but yes, it always said, Bruce.
Bruce, don't bring me down.
Anyway, what's the matter with you? Come on. Are you ill?
Yes. No, I'm. I feel like I just want to go somewhere and buy a Nokia 3310 and live in the hills. That's how I feel today.
Why? What's happened now? Come on, share with the group.
We know that WhatsApp have kind of destroyed the WhatsApp app on iOS for blind people who want to send voice messages.
They're working on an update. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're working.
It's fixed in the beta.
Yeah, I heard it. So, okay, there's an update coming. All right. Apparently it's fixed in the beta. Beta hasn't rolled out yet. That's still waiting. Not good enough. Come on, Meta. Get it fixed. Get it rolled out. Okay, there's that.
The development cycle isn't 24 hours.
I'm not interested.
Stephen
Yes,
Scott.
it is. What are these
Even
people
the
doing?
iOS app update implementation takes longer than that. You can't just chuck it in and push it out.
Well, it's been like 5 days.
I know,
and
it's
they
a disgrace.
fixed it.
I'm with you.
They have fixed. Thank you. I'm such a turncoat. So the other issue is now, yesterday we read that WhatsApp on PC is going to get a drastic new look, it says.
Hooray!
Actually, well, yeah, you'd think, oh, that's cool, great. And the purpose of it is to bring in a lot of the other functions like communities and groups and all that they have on WhatsApp, things I never use. And the issue that I have with this is they're basically getting rid of the native Windows app, and they're going to replace that with essentially a web wrapper. A whapper, I believe, is the technical term that no one uses.
I believe that's what the youth and cool kids say. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
A web wrapper.
Basically, a website in a wrapper.
Yes. So you don't feel like it's a website because it presents itself like an app. Basically.
Yeah, but you do absolutely feel like it's a website because it is a website and it's going to behave like a website, and trying to navigate this is going to be terrible. And I don't like it, and I am upset, and I want to take my toys and I'm going to go home.
Okay, Stephen Scott. Let's take a reasoned look at this problem as you see it.
No, it's terrible and it needs to stop, and they need to leave this app alone and stop annoying me.
Why is this going to be a problem for you?
Okay, so the native app, the native Windows app, is great for navigation. Now, again, I'm talking about blind people here. I'm sure the sighties will love it. And they'll say, oh, that's nice, that's lovely. But, for those of us who actually, use it as every day, use it for communication, use it for connection with people, rely on it, it's going to make, there's always question marks around accessibility, right? They might be able to make this accessible, although apparently in the early betas of this, it's not particularly accessible. Unlabeled buttons, hard to navigate through the various columns. Getting reporting back on screen readers is not very good. This is early days, but of course, there's a lot wrong at the moment. And then you have the inefficiency of it. I mean, the simplistic way of just being able to jump from one message to another. Now, of course, I have the joy of having JAWS and the Lisi scripts from Brian Harchin, and I'm using those to navigate. But
exactly.
There are also scripts for NVDA. There's a WhatsApp add-on you can get.
Yes.
Even VoiceOver. On the Mac. I mean, at this stage, we don't know how the Mac is affected because it's only talking about Windows, but it would make sense, I imagine, if they're moving towards essentially a single code base for the entire ecosystem here, to mean they basically are just updating one app all the time, one
Question.
WAP. Well, hang on. If they're updating one app all the time, then it means that they don't have to continually update and develop apps separately on different platforms. I kind of understand the reasoning behind it. It makes sense.
Total sense.
Well, of course it does. But if you don't include accessibility in it, or it's going to be more inefficient to use, why is this good? And by the way, for those of you out there who say, well, okay, we'll be as fair as we possibly can. The sighted people will love it because it's a new interface that's going to give you more functionality in areas of the app that you would use on the phone, on your desktop. Okay. It's also going to require 30% more RAM, or at least put more pressure on your computer to run. Why? I don't know. But it's going to be more effort on your computer to run it, which of course is meaning it's going to be even more laggy. And for a screen reader user, it's going to be even more laggy than that.
Oh, fake news, misinformation.
It's not misinformation.
Wars.
That is what
you're talking about.
Thank you for just throwing buzzwords at me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Fox News last night, clearly for the first time in your life. But this is coming from Meta themselves. They said this. This is not rumor. This is
fake
Meta.
News from Meta. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Meta have just published their own fake news, which is kind of ironic if that's true.
You spewed out quite a lot of stuff there. And
I feel like spewing. I'm annoyed.
Do you feel better? That's the main thing. Look, okay, 30%.
Because it just feels like we're every single day. There's another website. There's another thing that changes. Something else that just gets worse or just less effective.
Let me just stop you
and
there.
Like, where are we in this? We're not even involved in these conversations.
Terrible.
We never are.
The sky is falling. Firstly, what we're talking about here is the beta, right? Those inaccessibility, or I should say, accessibility problems you flagged up so far. Absolutely. But this is the beta. Let's see how they take in feedback, right? We don't know if that's going to roll out like that. So let's not say that the WhatsApp.
Okay, well, hang on. Hang on.
It's going to be
let's take that point. Let's take that point.
Let's do it one at a time.
Absolutely. Let's assess how they respond to feedback.
Yes.
So a group of people who were asked about the beta, asked to feedback about the beta on the iOS app, informed Meta that there was going to be an issue for users who were blind using VoiceOver to access the voice message.
Different issue.
No, it's not a different. Well,
it's a different issue.
No, hang on. You just said it's a beta and people will feedback and we'll see how that goes. Well, I'm telling you how it's going to go because we've already seen it in action.
On a different issue.
Doesn't matter. It's the same company, same feedback group,
so it's always
same
terrible.
issue. No, what I'm saying is you're asking me a question. I'm giving you the exact answer
on a different issue.
No. It's not a different issue. What's different about it?
On an iOS app with a bug in it, not on the beta of the web wrapper version of the Windows
which
version,
also has bugs in it, right? So here's the thing. But hang on. So you say, well, okay, that's a different issue. I don't get what the different issue is, except for the fact it's a different app. But what does that mean?
It's a different app on a different platform. Does it have the same development team?
What's that got to do with it?
Because it could be a totally different team that works with the iOS versus
come on. It's all the same
version.
people. They're all the same development teams that are working on
we
these
just
things.
know that. That's fact, is it?
Again, they're working towards a single code base so that the development team, I imagine the development team, can deal with it. So it's not hundreds of different people in different rooms across the company.
I doubt if it is hundreds of different people.
And even if it's two different people, it doesn't matter. That stands up that a group of people told Meta, told the development team there was an issue coming up in the beta of the WhatsApp app for iOS that was going to impact on blind people using the voice message function. Yes. What happened? It was ignored and the app was pushed out anyway.
Yes.
So if you're asking me the question, well, the WhatsApp has got some bugs in it in the beta and, we'll feedback and we'll see what happens. Well, we kind of know the track record.
Yes.
So we know it's going to get pushed out with accessibility bugs.
No, we don't.
That's going to happen.
No, you can't jump like that. Yes,
I absolutely guarantee that's what's going to happen.
In our experience, the feedback has been awful until it is pushed out, and then
absolutely
we contact someone
you
from accessibility.
that is what's going to happen.
And then they say, oh yeah, of course, we're going to work on that.
And we're going to fix it, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting.
Yes.
Again, it's called history repeating. It's a well-known phrase. People use it a lot. History repeating.
I'm saying until it is out officially, you can't comment on the beta to that extent that this is going to be awful.
Yes,
because you don't know that.
Yes, I do.
How far through the beta cycle is this that we're commenting on?
No idea.
Is this beta 1? Is this release candidate? Is this
Doesn't
gold
matter.
master? We don't know.
It'll be terrible.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Look, I'm sorry, but I cannot get hopeful about this. I can't get hopeful about it.
I understand, and you're right. The track record when it comes to accessibility feedback in the beta process isn't great on any company. Absolutely, you're right. But I'm just saying, until it's officially released, it's really difficult to slam any company on that until it is released with those accessibility problems built in. Then absolutely slam them. It's terrible. You had the feedback. I get that, but until it is released, I'd think it's unfair to slam them yet. It's a beta.
Well, irrespective, what's your thoughts on actually switching from this whole native Windows app to a web wrapper?
Right. Nervous, I will agree with you, because in my experience, the web-based apps haven't been a great experience for screen reader users. I'm thinking of things like Outlook, right? The new version.
Terrified people.
And I would say rightfully so, because you need to, it's change, and it means, you know, a learning curve, because you've got to learn those new ways of doing things. On the flip side of that, I actually like the new Outlook. I think it's got some cool features that the Outlook Classic doesn't have. Just being able to go through the list of my emails, and it reads out the preview of, you know, a summary of that email. Absolutely fantastic, and something I miss on Outlook Classic. But I still find myself, because of those keyboard shortcuts that are burned into my muscle memory, going back to Outlook Classic. So I totally understand I'm going to use the word fear of change. I totally get that. But I think this could be, look, just from a developmental point of view, that one code base. So the company are only ever working on, let's say, the web version of it for multiple platforms. It makes development a lot quicker. It makes updates potentially, you know, to fix those bugs a lot quicker. So I'm not going to say this is an absolute terrible disgrace. I am really disappointed at these bugs when it comes to accessibility in the beta. But as I said, I'm not going to slam them until it's actually released in that state. But I'm not too worried. Look, you said about the ease of navigating around. But the reason it's easy is because other third parties have put the work in. Brian with the Lisi. NVDA with the WhatsApp Plus add-on for desktop, you know, Alt-1 to jump to the conversations, Alt-2 to jump to the last message in that conversation history.
Yeah, but in fact, you don't need those scripts in order to do a lot of this
No, you
stuff.
don't. You can still
natively
tab around.
You can do that.
But you don't know you're not going to be able to do that in the WAP version of WhatsApp.
But it has to be coded for this. That's the point,
Well,
right? I don't understand coding. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. I've read a lot of articles about this already, and I understand that there's a lot wrong with the existing website of WhatsApp and the challenges that are there, and that is what's being fed back, and people far smarter than I are talking about this. The reason I bring it up, the reason I'm so annoyed about it, is because it's just a continuing trend I'm seeing across all apps, all companies. It's this constant change, this constant need to change. Now, I do understand, of course, there is no sense in creating 5 or 6 different apps. And look, if
Which
you remember
cancels out your concern then, right?
No, it doesn't cancel out my concern at all. It makes it worse, actually. And it makes it worse if...
You understand the need for one universal code base.
I do. I do understand the need for it. Yeah, but that doesn't make me feel better about it. And what it makes me think is, well, okay, what that means is that in theory, and lots of that, you know, I'm a pink cow in theory, you know, anything's possible in theory. I'm not a pink cow, by the way, for those who are watching on YouTube. You should be able to verify that.
Audio description.
Can't wait to see the comments. But yes, you look exactly like a pink cow. Thank you. I actually look like Peter Griffin, apparently, from Family Guy, if you know who that is.
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment. It doesn't sound like him. But here's the thing. I'm not confident about it because, you know, again, I know track records. There's a push. There's an urgent push to get these apps out there. And I don't doubt for a second, and I don't doubt that the accessibility teams, I can hear it, even the teams at Meta who are working in accessibility, banging their heads against the desk saying, we know these challenges. We try, we flag them, we tell people. They don't listen because they're so desperate to push out the app. That's the problem.
I agree.
That happened at Sonos. It happened with Microsoft. It's happened with Apple. It's happened with Google. Everybody. Every company has done this. They've pushed out an app and there's been, you know, remember that, I can't remember the name, was it the AI search function that came out in Google? It had launched like instantly and then it wasn't even labeled. The button wasn't even labeled properly on the website.
Yes.
And you're like, really? Really? I mean, a simple thing like that, the basics. You've got a team who are telling you these things aren't right and it's still getting passed. You've got teams of people beta testing. It's still not getting through. And it's because of pace. The pace of change. I get there's a need to simplify. There clearly is a financial issue going on inside all these companies. Microsoft laying off lots of people at the moment.
9,000, I believe,
Yeah,
in the last...
I mean, it's terrifying what's going on inside these companies, because you think these are huge, big companies with huge amounts of money. And maybe they are, but the money doesn't seem to be filtering down a lot of the time. Or if it is, or alternatively, there just isn't enough money, or as much money as we perhaps thought there was.
Everything's going into AI resource-wise.
That's where the money's going, rather than staff.
Billions
and
being
actually,
invested.
A lot of the staff are probably getting jobs getting taken over by AI. That's another issue,
maybe.
right?
Look, I totally understand. I totally understand your concern, and it's
well,
true.
Look, let me lay this out, because look, the issue is, and this is the thing. I understand the need. I've talked about it with television for a long time. You know, you have an app that's perhaps on a Google TV or an Android TV. You've got an app that's available on Fire TV. You've got an app that's available on Apple TV. Yes. And all these individual apps have got their own pros and cons. Some work well with screen readers, some don't. And it's the same app, right? So, you know, I can go to one app on one platform, it's not accessible. But I go to another platform, it is. Or I go to one platform, it's got audio description. Another platform, it doesn't. It's all the same app, but it's not, because it's 5 or 6 or 7 different apps. So I totally understand the need for companies to say, well, look, if we just build one app that can go across any platform that appears as any, and essentially is a website, I get it, I understand that. My issue is the accessibility component. If you're going to spend the effort and the time making the greatest app ever for your company, you should make it accessible on day one. And that's not that's the dream or that's the hope. It should just be. And it's not good enough for any company. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how small you are. It's not good enough in 2025 to say, well, we'll get to it. All right, we'll get fixed soon. No,
Thank you for that
it gets
feature
fixed
request.
now.
Yes.
Now. Not tomorrow. Now. I've waited long enough. We've all waited long enough. We're sick of it. It's funny. I used to try and be calm about this and say, oh, look, let's take our time. I used to listen to some commentators get really wound up about it. I say, come on, guys, calm down. We'll get to it. You know what? I'm with them now. I am totally with you on it. I've had enough. I've had enough of it. It's not good enough. Because, again, we're left behind. Accessibility is not a feature.
All right.
It's not a feature.
No, it's not. It's a
core.
core.
You don't laud it and say, we've added this thing called accessibility, and apparently these little disabled people can now come along and use it. Oh, thanks. And we just sit there going, thank you. More, please, sir. No, I'm sick of it. I've had enough of it. Okay, we don't pay for WhatsApp, it's free, although that's an argument in itself.
Well,
how we pay for it.
Pay with your soul.
Well, yeah. But, for products we buy, we're equal, right? If I'm paying the same money, I want the same access. Simple as that.
All right.
And, for me, it's just, so my concern, I guess, is they're going to build this app and accessibility will be broken, will have issues. And look, there will always be issues. I understand that. But if you listen to the people look, Meta in particular, and it's one of the few companies we know this of, are actively listening to people who are disabled, right? They're listening to people.
Are they?
And the accessibility team, well, they're involved. They're in the room.
Most big tech companies have got an accessibility team. Do you feel listened to?
No, I understand. Well, that's kind of my point, right? Yeah, they're in the room, which is good. But if the concerns of the accessibility team in the wider organization are ignored,
yes,
or it's, well, we'll deal with it later, which I imagine is probably the case in most companies.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll get it in the next release.
Yeah.
We've got to get this
or
one out
that's
the
your
door.
problem, you fix it.
That's the problem. Can we just slow the pace down? It's like, why do we have to have a new iPhone every year? I've said this before. Why do we need a new iPhone every year? Why do we need a new iOS every single year?
Spinning off on a tangent here. Go on,
why
Stephen.
do we? Why? What benefit does it give us?
Profits for Apple.
Why wouldn't? Well, yeah, that's the problem, right? It's about making money.
Is that a problem?
It is when
welcome to capitalism.
Yeah, I know. I understand it.
Okay.
I don't know what the solution. I'm not coming to you with a solution.
You understand it. You're just annoyed by it.
I am annoyed by it.
Look, okay.
And I think, it's because I think it's just some days you just get so frustrated. You've spent time, as a blind guy, you spend time learning something new. You get comfortable with it. And you daren't get comfortable because the next day, I literally said to you at the start of, I think it was this week or last week, I said to you, I'm loving the PC. It's great. I feel I've got really kind of comfortable with it. I've got it all set up.
Yeah.
Loving having Lisi on there with the WhatsApp app. I use it every day, all the time. I love using it. It's great. And then I read that headline yesterday. I'm like, oh, come on.
They did it on purpose.
It's not about me. But, you know, it's like, I'm just like, come on, really?
Yeah, look, especially if you're doing something where you're setting up software for a workflow, right? I'm sure everyone listening or watching on YouTube knows, you know, you find the software that works for you. It's really difficult. You can't just download anything.
No.
Because, well, is it accessible?
Well, that's a cited answer. Oh, we'll try this app. I'll just go to that app.
Yeah,
and it's like, do you understand how long it's taken me
to
get my head... Well, but not even that. You know, first off, you hear from the community, oh, everyone's using this app. It's great. I love this app. It's really accessible. You should try this one. So everyone migrates to that. And then you get used to it and then something breaks. And it's like, well, what do you do? Where do you go? You can't just jump to the next thing.
Yeah.
Oh, great, Telegram or Signal, and it's like, okay, is that accessible? You're trying to find information out. You don't know. You hear there's issues.
What's the workaround? What's the quirks? Which screen reader works best? Have I got to switch around here? It's.
I mean, like a blind person could spend. I was telling someone this the other day because you know it's one of those kind of conversations, and I don't blame sighted people for this. I kind of get it.
Do you not?
I don't.
It's good of you.
Well, what I mean is, I don't blame people for saying things like, "Oh, why don't you just do this?" or "Why don't you just use that browser?" Or it's like, yeah, look, I understand what you're saying, but the task that I had to do in that particular day involved 3 browsers and 2 screen readers.
Yeah,
just to achieve one task.
Yeah,
and when you're at that stage, and that's one thing which a sighted person would probably involve 2 clicks of a mouse, probably take 10 seconds maximum,
if that. Yeah.
And you think, if it's taking me an hour to do something it takes you to do 10 seconds, let's extrapolate that into the rest of my life. And how much energy do I have to deal with that? I have to sit down some days and actually think, do I want to do this today? Not can I do it? Not am I able to do it? Have I got the energy to do this today?
Yeah.
And
it's true.
That's what I fear about things like this. And okay, the WhatsApp app has perhaps brought some feelings up that just make me angry about this generally navigating the web. As I do find difficulty navigating the web, I still do. I've never felt comfortable online, never. And
really,
yeah, I've never felt comfortable. And it's funny, I hear from some people who are almost shy to say, "I don't go online. I stick to apps I know. I stick to essentially those walled gardens that you build for yourself, right? You say, well, the app is good, so I'll stick to the app. But God, like my bank, I would never go on my bank's website.
That's true. Yeah,
No
I don't think I've
way.
even attempted it. Yeah.
Wouldn't even think about it.
Just too much to navigate, I assume.
And can you imagine if you were like transferring money or something? You want to make sure that's done properly, right?
Yeah.
You don't send it off to some, like you, for example. I don't send my money to you.
Correct. It'd be ridiculous.
You'd love that, but I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, but listen, there's absolutely no reason why the web-based app, I'll go back to WhatsApp, right? There's absolutely no reason. Actually, that shouldn't be an absolute joy to navigate using a screen reader. Right, jump to an edit field to type a message. Each region could be separated by a landmark. Hit D or L, depending on what screen reader you're using, to jump through each section. Headers, tabs, buttons. It should be an absolute dream, but only if they think about that from the accessibility point of view.
Yeah.
And as you rightfully said, although I did fight back a little bit, the track record hasn't been great. But when it comes to WhatsApp, I just think, let's see what happens. I haven't got much faith in it either.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm just playing devil's advocate about pushing back. But
I think to be fair,
totally
you're probably a little bit more optimistic about it than I am. Overall, you're probably thinking, well, okay, look, it is, and also that you're maybe still in that stage. I think you might be of being a little bit still patient. And the problem is, I've lost patience. That's the problem.
No, absolutely not. Actually, if it comes out on the official day of release, out of beta, and all those unlabeled buttons are there, absolute disgrace. They should be ashamed of themselves. I'm just a little bit hesitant about slamming something in beta. That's all.
And well, the reason I bring it up and the reason I say it this way is because I feel some of these companies need a bit of hard truths, and I don't mean the accessibility teams. In fact, they're the last people I'm talking to here because they get it.
They do,
hear
but they're
the
not
feedback.
listening
They're
to.
unconnected, but that's the problem. It's the larger, I want the Mark Zuckerbergs to hear this. It's like, why is it Steve Jobs was the only guy who said, right, make it accessible or don't. Just make it damn accessible and make it good. Why was he the guy who got it?
Yeah.
Is he the only guy on this planet that figured it out, that said, you know what, this is actually good for business?
Again, it kind of goes back for me to the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. The commitment is either there, and this is a great example of that. Listen to the feedback, make it matter. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whew, do you feel better anyway now? You okay?
Yeah, I was just a bit fed up with it, to be honest.
Also, let me just say,
I'll just get a Blind Shell Classic and go and live in the hills.
The Meta Ray-Bans aren't supported on the Blind Shell Classic.
Oh, well, okay. Capsus then. I know it won't be working on a Nokia 3310. No. Actually, that's a point.
Just sticking with Meta for a second, and only for a second, I did read that Meta have refused to sign the European Commission's AI code, which comes into force, I think, at the start of August. And I'm slightly concerned what this means for the functionality of the Meta Ray-Bans in Europe. Do we suddenly, if they refuse to sign that, which is basically the European Commission's code of ethics when it comes to privacy and other things when it comes to AI, if Meta say, no, we don't agree with it, we're not going to sign it, am I going to lose the AI functionality on my Meta Ray-Bans again?
Well, I mean, I suppose there's two arguments. I mean, one, yeah, you might, but then I guess the question is, why would you lose it? And is that because, essentially, we're talking about European regulation, which is far tighter, and the only region of the world where there is much in the way of regulation at all.
Yes.
Is that for good or bad? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess if progress is the goal, and it's just about progress and having access to the greatest whatever at any cost, you go with the US and you say, well, okay, fine, you go with that approach, because that's kind of where we're at, right? I mean, the US is not going to slow down with AI. No one's going to slow down. China are advancing, the US are advancing, and both of them want to lead the pack. I mean, there's already talk of China getting ahead of the game when it comes to humanoid robots. Yep. I was hearing that story the other day.
Did you see that one that changed his own batteries last week? I mean,
a remote controller could do that. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
Absolutely amazing. A humanoid robot changing its own battery so it could carry on. Terrifying.
There was one, actually, I was watching CNN the other night. There was one where there was a robot that was using a vacuum cleaner. And it's like using a traditional vacuum cleaner, right? It's vacuuming the house and say, oh, look at the house of the future type thing in 2025. And I'm going, hang on, have nobody had a Roomba? I mean, that already exists.
Of tomorrow.
And I don't have to buy a robot and an old vacuum cleaner to make this work. It already exists.
But it'd look cool.
I mean, yeah, it might look cool. Do you know, I think they do that. Honestly, I think they do that to try and make people understand what on earth they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's like, some people, if you show them this little thing, they go, well, what is that? Well, it vacuums your house. What are you talking about? And until you can understand it,
looks like a little frisbee. What are you talking
almost got to visualize it for people. And I understand
I'm just concerned, going back to the Meta Ray-Bans, I'm concerned that I've got glasses here that are suddenly, and look, this is, we don't know what's going to happen here.
Don't bash until it happens, Shaun.
Yeah. Damn it.
I'll throw your words back at you, my friend.
I'm just concerned that suddenly these glasses aren't doing what they were sold to me as able to do.
Well, they're not already, are they? I mean, where's Meta AI Live? That's not there
I
yet.
don't care about that, because that seems pretty terrible to me anyway.
Irrespective, it's going to grow, it's going to get better.
Absolutely.
We don't have it.
But early access, right? So that's not officially rolled out still, or has it? I don't know. We don't have access.
I think it has in the US, doesn't it? It has in the US.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but we don't live there.
With this, and also Belkin also recently announced that they're shutting down the...
Hang on. What? We'll take a break, because I can see us going to go off on another rant.
Carry on.
Yeah, we'll take a short break. We'll come back. We'll have a nice cup of tea.
All right, let's relax.
Which will last for 30 seconds. It's going to be the quickest cup of tea. And then we'll be right back to yell more.
Thank you.
This is Double Tap. We'll be right back.
Hey, Shaun, your ad could go here.
My ad? I don't want to think what that could be.
Yeah, I can't think. Air fryer probably for you, perhaps. Yeah, I think that might be right. Hey, we are now accepting sponsors at Double Tap. One of the questions I get all the time, Shaun, is, how can I support you in what you do at Double Tap? Well, this is one way you can sponsor the show. If you've got a business in the assistive tech space, or even not in the assistive tech space, but you want to reach a blind and low vision audience, you know what? Get in touch with us here at Double Tap, and hey, we might be able to help get your word to many, many thousands of blind and low vision people who tune into our show every day.
It's really easy to do. Just visit doubletaponair.com/sponsor for more details.
That's right, doubletaponair.com/sponsor.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Okay, let's get back to it. Shaun, you were going to talk about Belkin. What are they up to now?
Belkin, of course, the high quality, I would say, accessories maker for technology, cables and everything else. They recently announced that the phrase they used is no longer supporting, technically, their smart home devices range, which is known as the WeMos. I think I've got a couple of WeMo smart plugs, but they do light bulbs and, air purifiers and everything. I may even do something like a thermostat. I can't remember, but they do a range of these smart home devices. And in the end of January 2026, they will be, basically shutting them down. They will no longer work. And this is after the Google announced about the Google Nest thermostat, Gen 1, Gen 2, no longer working at the end of this year. And it just seems like, you know what, I'm buying this stuff on the promise that it will do certain functionality. And it seems like you don't own anything anymore. At any point, a company can say, yeah, you know what, we're turning it off. It's not going to work anymore. Just throw it away. I think something needs to be done. When it comes to consumer law, consumer legislation, we got to have some protection here. Because what if someone's kitted out their entire house, right? Light switches, WeMo light switches. If you've had them hardwired, you've got an electrician in to hardwire your entire house with these smart light switches, all of a sudden, yeah, you can't control them using any cloud services anymore. Your smart speakers, your app on your phone, no longer control that. What do? You need to spend money to get them replaced. Get them, someone round to uninstall them and then reinstall new ones. Why would anyone take the risk with smart home devices when this sort of danger of it just being, yeah, we're not supporting that anymore?
But I assume they're doing this because there's a new range that they've either developed, they're building that's better. Is that what?
As far as I know, no. And I don't think it's every smart home WeMo device, but the vast majority of them. I think it's a case of these companies. So how smart home devices work, basically, the vast majority of them is that the device, let's say a light switch, that will communicate via the company's server. So the computer in the cloud, and then that will communicate with the app on your phone or the smart speaker in your home. So there's always that company in the middle, the middleman, enabling that communication between the device and the controller. Now, there's absolutely no reason for that to be the case. There's absolutely no reason why that light switch in your home can't go through your Wi-Fi home network and talk to your phone, the app on your phone or the smart speaker. That's a conscious decision that the businesses make to have control over how the smart home devices work. So for subscription, but those servers, keeping those servers on 24/7, processing 1 million commands to turn a light switch on, takes money, takes power. And if they suddenly feel like, you know what, we're not going to spend money on that anymore and turn it off, your device is bricked. It's dead. It no longer works. And there is no reason for it. Every device should have the option to connect locally through your home Wi-Fi network. Absolutely. And there's no technical reason why that couldn't happen.
No, because it's all about selling product, right? It's about, and it comes back to your point earlier about, Stephen, get used to capitalism. That's what it is. It is. Ultimately, they have to make money. And if they're not making money on a product, they're going to shelve it. They're going to get rid of it. That happens all the time.
Which also comes back to the argument of legislation is the answer. Consumer legislation. You can't just switch these things off. I spent money on these things. And you can't just take them out of my hands.
Is it reasonable, though, if a company has developed a product, and I don't know what the replacement might be. I imagine there must be something that replaces the WeMo range, because WeMo's been out for a while. But let's say, irrespective of whether there is or not, if that company has developed this product and it's decided it's time to move on from that product, do you expect them to still continue to support that product 10, 15, 20 years into the future?
Well, it depends. If there's some sort of reason why they shouldn't, if protocols have moved on. Like the Google Nest thermostat is probably the best example of that. Gen 1 and Gen 2 are the ones they discontinued. The later versions are still supported. So how long are we talking? What should be the expected lifespan of a product? especially
because that's a new conversation. Really, that's something we've kind of. I mean, I'm in my 40s. Growing up, that was never really a thing. You bought a washing machine.
Yeah.
It remained a washing machine
life.
until the day it just blew up
Yes.
or stopped working, which actually, when I was growing up, didn't really happen that often. You could buy a washing machine in, say, the mid-1980s, and it would last you probably till about, till the point where you got sick of it. Or you thought, it's maybe not as good as there's a newer one that's maybe better. But, you wouldn't replace it so quickly.
Well, also, it was all self-contained. So if you knew the local handyman or repairman, he could probably fix it or,
It's almost like they built a design of a product so that it would just stop working at some point, or it would just become unusable,
planned
or it could be
obsolescence,
switched off remotely, for example. It's almost like they designed that into the product so that you would go out and buy more products.
Yeah, I don't.
That's ultimately what's happened. Right?
I don't
that's
quite
it.
go for that. I just think there is no.
Of course, it's that. Of
no,
course it's
I don't think it's planned
that,
obsolescence. I think they see there is absolutely no reason. There's no penalty.
You telling me that? So if you made the best washing machine in the world,
yeah, well, that's a different
and it could last for 50 years. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. Pick anything you like. If you made the best television, the best WeMo smart plug in the world, everyone buys one. Then what? Company goes under. Doesn't make money.
Well, yeah, that's true. Then
it doesn't work, does it?
Plans. No, but the difference I'm thinking between a washing machine and other mechanical stuff like that is now everything seems to have dependencies now, right? Everything relies on another service being there. It's almost like when you lose internet on your iPhone. It's like, well, what do I do now?
And it becomes useless.
It becomes useless. And it's the same with smart home devices. There's a dependency on another service always being there. And I think there needs to be some sort of penalty for a company saying, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to support it anymore. But when it comes to the expected shelf life of something, that is a reasonable question. It's difficult because honestly, I don't know. I don't know, especially when it comes to technology. Is 10 years reasonable?
I think that's ultimately the core of whatever legislation was to come in, Shaun's rules on this.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever that is, it's got to be, okay, so we say the length of time is 7 years or 8 years, whatever it might be. A reasonable, because there's always, I guess, in consumer law, there must already be some kind of reasonable amount of time. I mean, there certainly is for returns, for sending something back when something's faulty.
Yeah.
There's already legislation in place for that kind of thing. So there would need to be similar legislation that said, the product has to be supported for a minimum of, because I think at that point there's a reasonable expectation that a new product could replace it.
Should that be?
I don't know if there is in Belkin's case, though. I don't know what I haven't really followed Belkin for smart devices recently. It's been more things like battery banks, cables, charging. They seem to have moved into that arena. I actually bought something the other day from Belkin. Which was
what did you buy?
A docking station for my laptop.
Oh, which laptop?
The PC, because I love it.
Okay.
It's one of those ones. It's like a little, it's like a wedge design, so you can sit the laptop on it like a stand, and all the ports are on the back. So there's 11 ports in the back. It's got USB A's, USB C's, a couple of B's.
11 ports.
A couple of D's and E's.
Don't think it has. Has it got an SD card reader?
Yes, and a micro SD. It's the future. It's got everything.
Terrible.
And it's just a single cable. It's a pass-through dock. So you get these docking stations where you get the power brick with the dock, and that can power. It depends on what you want it to do, right? Because if you're plugging in hard drives and things, sometimes you want to make sure you've got powered docking stations. This is a whole conversation we could do on its own. But we are. So you get the powered one. So if you plugged in, say, a drive, if you buy a little hard drive and that has a USB cable on it that connects to your computer, USB A or USB C, that drive might require some extra power, and it gets it from whatever your source is. Now, if the source is a laptop, then it'll draw the power from that, and usually that's fine. But if you plug into a docking station, and that docking station has its own power source, that's where it'll get the power from. Some drives need so much power that the docking station I've bought, which doesn't have a power brick, it's got what you call pass-through power, which basically means that the power from your laptop power supply plugs into the docking station, and then there's a cable that comes out from the side of the docking station and plugs into the side of your laptop, and that's how everything gets charged. The laptop gets charged, and all the devices attached are connected.
That makes no sense. The laptop powers the dock, which powers the laptop.
No, the power powers the dock, or passes through power through the dock to the laptop, which is connected.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's a powered dock.
Is it though? I don't know if it is.
Well, if it plugs into
powered,
the wall.
but is it powered or is it the laptop that's powered? I never understand if the ports are powered. Because it's like, well, what's the difference then, right? Why don't they all have power supplies? Or is it just so that you can buy one without a power supply?
Because on a laptop, the various USB ports are assigned their maximum power output. So, like you may plug, let's take the phone because it's easier. Take your smartphone and plug it into a USB-A port on your laptop. It may take 6 hours to charge. You plug it into another port on your laptop and it may take 2 hours because one will have more power assigned to it because there's limited power available in the battery. Whereas with the port, which you actually plug in, usually with a 12-volt adapter, plug into the wall, a dock, then each socket, USB socket, gets the most power it can have, so it can power multiple high-power USB devices.
Yeah, I would definitely check that if you're buying one, because I don't think that's the case with the pass-through docks. I don't think they have enough power in the device itself. It's not really for powering
that sounds
the docking
terrible.
Station.
Oh.
But I don't need it for that. I don't care about that.
Well, good for you. Can I just say, I bought something yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, Stephen Scott.
Wow.
I know.
This isn't breaking news. What's going on?
Yeah, can we have some sort of jingle?
No,
I didn't think so. That's why I said it. I bought...
Just to annoy you. I mean, I could have played it, but I'm not going to play it.
Let me try and
ask for it. I'm not doing it.
Now, Tiflotecnia. Tiflotecnia. Where did that come from? When did Vocalizer become Tiflotecnia? How long have I been out of the game here?
Hang on a minute. Are you talking absolute garbage? Because I think you might be.
I am not. Okay, so I was so sick of the one-core voices I had for NVDA. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and get the Vocalizer voices for NVDA. I'm sick of it. I want some
Which one did you have? What were you using?
I was using one core. It was Susan or Hazel or George.
Oh, yeah.
Awful.
Hazel's good.
Look, they're fine. But when I'm jumping between, I'm remote into different laptops. I can't tell the difference.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you were a high-flying Wall Street
professional.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I wanted to buy the Vocalizer voices, so I went off searching for it. And apparently, Vocalizer is now called Tiflotecnia.
Fake news.
That's why it's definitely called that. Tiflotecnia. So, anyway.
This is Donna Tripoli all over again, isn't it?
Donna. That took me so long. Who's this Donna Tripoli? Oh, don't reply.
Do not reply. Donna Tripoli.
Stop it. Anyway, I bought them. €90 for... Well, any Vocalizer. I'm still going to refer to the Vocalizer voices. The Daniels, the Avas. Hello.
Ava. I don't know. I'm fed up with Ava.
Sorry,
I know there's a lot of Ava fans out there.
She's
I actually
amazing.
can hear the emails being typed right now with Ava's voice.
Oliver and Malcolm at the minute. Anyway, downloaded those for €90. And I've got to say, they are great. I know, I bought them. Hang on.
€90? Not 9?
No, 90, which turns out to be about 130 Canadian dollars, 81 UK pounds.
And that's an Australian 8 million Australian dollars.
Ruples, something like that.
That's right, yeah.
But I got to say, they do make a difference. There is something, so maybe it's just...
It need to be for €90, I'll tell you that.
I got it on PayPal, 3 easy payments, so that's nice over 3 months. Otherwise,
paying up the voice on your computer. That's a new level, isn't it? How things have changed.
Sounds great. And then I installed it on this one in here. Perfect. I got my license key, put it in. Perfect. Installed it in the one in my living room. Perfect. And then tried to install it on the other one in the house. And it's, no, only 2. So I've got one laptop that's got to have the terrible one-core voices. When will Microsoft release those natural, beautiful sounding voices for a narrator to the system? I would use those all day long. They are the best voices I've ever heard.
Yeah, 100%. Love them.
Thank you. Come on, Microsoft, sort yourself out.
They want you to use narrator, that's why.
I do occasionally, because you've got no choice, because nothing works great.
Nothing else works. It's funny, isn't it? Narrator was the last screen reader you would ever turn on, right? And now it's become... It's funny how it becomes the thing that fixes a lot of our problems, yet we don't stick with it. We just immediately turn it back off again and go back to the original one. I find that kind of amusing. It's like no one thinks, actually, do you know what? If it kind of works here and it kind of works, maybe I could just stick with it.
And they are, they're still working on it. The latest update, I think it mentions something like a speech history. You can go back through and see every phrase that the narrator said and even copy a phrase to your clipboard, which is quite nice. It just shows that they're still working on it. And as I said, the voices. Every time I switch narrator on because something, NVDA or Jules won't read something, it just sounds so nice.
Yeah. I'm on
voices.
Nathan at the minute. That's my voice of the moment.
Who?
Nathan.
Yes, I installed Nathan. And some of them on the Tiflotecnia say ML. Because I just searched for the enhanced versions, the quality enhanced.
Oh, I can't stand those.
Oh, no, that's all I have.
Oh, it's terrible. It's too sibilant for me.
There's enhanced.
Too sibilant.
There's Ava enhanced and Ava ML.
I like Ava, basic.
Basic
Ava basic.
Now, I don't know what ML means. I don't know if that means medium to large, or I'm assuming it's machine learning or something, but it does sound quite nice.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And there's Matilda for the Australian voices. I've never heard her before. And
some of the Australian ones are really good. I used to use Lee for a long time. It sounded like a radio broadcaster.
Oh, yeah, very
Karen,
nice.
Yeah, Karen.
Sarah always has Lee as her voice. I don't get jealous or anything, but it's fine.
Big, strapping
beautiful, chisel-jawed Lee. Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway. Dear. Anyway, what are we talking about? Wasn't there something else you wanted to talk about? And it's escaped my memory, but there was something else you were going to mention today.
Was there? What was it? Because I've totally forgotten. I wanted to talk about Belkin. I wanted to talk about what's...
I'll tell you one thing I want to mention. That's it. Chapter markers. So Gordon and Anthony got in touch, and it's kind of created this whole flood of messages that we've got on WhatsApp and on our into our inbox about issues with apps. Now, it seems... because I checked in yesterday with the powerhouse behind Double Tap.
It's not our fault.
And nothing's changed. We've changed nothing about the way we produce, the way we deliver the podcast. But for some reason, now, on a number of apps, you now have to swipe through the episode notes to get to the chapter markers. No longer, for example, in Apple Podcasts, can you just go to the top and there's a little drop-down menu and you can select it instead. And I did mention this yesterday. I noticed it in Apple Podcasts.
You did.
But I've tried it on others, and Tom got in touch with me last night from Colorado, and he said, having an issue on my Android phone using AntennaPod, which he uses as his podcast player. So I downloaded it on the Android phone last night, and I tried it, and the same thing. You have to swipe through the episode notes to get to the chapters. Now, Tom said to me in a follow-up message, I did reply to him on this, and he said, well, that means I can't access them now. But you can, Tom. They are there. But you just have to swipe through. It's not ideal, but that is where they are. Now, the only one that seems to be lacking entirely is the Victor Reader stream. For some reason, I cannot get the chapter markers to be found to play. Again, nothing has changed on our end, so I don't have a clue what's going on here.
But this
could be the provider, the podcast host perhaps has changed something.
Yeah, but this wouldn't just be Double Tap that would be affected by this then.
Well, it seems other podcasts, their chapter markers play as where. So I'm completely confused. I have no idea.
It is our fault.
It's not, well, nothing's changed. Literally nothing has changed. So this has happened recently. So it's somewhere in the chain, and I think way beyond our control, something has changed. But the parts that we do, essentially by delivering the episode and actually putting the chapter markers in there, that part has remained the same, and we follow the guidance to do that. So the thing is, the chapter markers are there. You can find them. It's just that they're awkward to find. And on something like the Victor Reader, it's harder to do because it's not showing up as chapters for some reason. That seems to be the problem.
Well,
even though they are there,
help.
and you can swipe to them, and you can double. So what you do is when you swipe past the episode notes, you get to the time codes. It will tell you what the particular topic is in that area, and you just double tap on the time, and then it'll come up with a play button.
It's got to be different per app,
you can play.
though, hasn't it?
Well, it is different perhaps. Some apps bring up a box asking you to play. Some just immediately start playing from that point. Some require you to play the episode first before you do it.
Help us, listeners.
Can't really do anything about that, folks. We don't control the apps that you listen to us on, but we're doing our bit to make the chapters available. They are available. We just are having some issues getting you to be able to access them. But that's where you'll likely find them, on Overcast, on AntennaPod, on Apple Podcasts, and so on. So just get to the episode notes, swipe right a few times, and you will find chapters, and then you'll find the chapter numbers there. Or alternatively, Do what our lovely listeners in AMI Audio do and suffer through the whole show.
Yeah, no choice. Sit there and enjoy it.
And enjoy it.
You will.
And let's be honest, you're here for a reason, right? You might as well listen to the whole thing. You've come along, you've come to listen. You might as well just stay, listen for the hour.
Yeah.
What else are you doing? Let's be honest. What else are you doing?
Right, don't shame our listeners now. What else have you got to do? Stop that, Stephen Scott, because I want to say...
hit play. I mean, come on,
stop
what else
it.
are you doing?
I want to say thank you to Charles, who got in touch to tell me what that AD, or audio description, as I thought it was, button in Facebook Watch was.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, it suddenly popped up and it was saying AD, and I thought, oh, this video is going to have audio description. It isn't that. Charles described that it is actually a description of the audio track for that video. So it tells you all the information about the audio in the video you're watching rather than audio description as we know it. So I was slightly disappointed, but thank you so much, Charles, for getting in touch and letting me know that, because I didn't have a clue. I got excited and he crushed my hopes, but thank you.
That didn't make any sense to me at all, but what on earth is the point of that button? I don't get it.
Well,
It tells you about the audio track. What about it?
Well, I don't know.
It's got it. I mean, if you're listening to the audio, I imagine you know there's audio there. It's not captioning, is it?
Charles also told me that you can search for other videos. Say there's a song used on it or some sort of soundtrack used on that video.
I see.
You can get some information about that. And also other videos that use the same sort of music, same sort of audio track. So there's some sort of correlation there if you're just interested in the audio.
Do you ever listen to, I know you do too, I spend less time these days listening to Facebook Watch videos. I've kind of managed to wean myself off a little bit.
Well done you.
Yeah, I'm a hero. I found podcasts. They're great, by the way. Not this one, I will.
Who knew?
Not this one. I hear enough of my own voice. But it's interesting, you know, I find that often a lot of these videos play the same song in the background. And I've never understood. I mean, I've realized I don't understand this world. The whole Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. I just don't get it. I think I'm too old. And I kind of don't care.
Yes.
I'm getting to the point, if I'm honest, where I'm ready just to come away from social media. I feel it would do me good to get off social media.
A digital detox.
No, not even a detox. Just a complete clear out. Get rid.
Yeah.
You know, treat it like I treat my loft every 3 years.
That'll last
empty
2
everything
days.
out and throw it away.
That'll last 2 days. All of 2 days, and that'll be it. Oh, sorry. I want to quickly say...
No, please, absolutely destroy my my emotions here.
Yeah, no, honestly, don't care. The Eufy robot vac that I bought.
Was it brilliant?
In Prime Day. G50 was the one.
Catchy.
Yeah, it's all right.
So useless.
The app is kind of accessible, kind of not. There's a button on there that says clean. That's fine. There's also a few unlabeled buttons. There's a few just symbol buttons. Just doesn't feel nice. Feels clunky to navigate. That's the Eufy Clean app for iOS, at least.
Glowing recommendation.
The smart speaker skill, for tell RoboVac to clean. 90% of the time, that's not a valid command. Doesn't work. So,
also, it's about as good as cleaning as you are.
Yeah,
can't be bothered, basically.
Yeah,
it's no interest.
I cannot recommend the G50. Look,
these robots are getting more human-like by the minute.
I wasn't expecting much at the price, so I'm not too disappointed. It's fine, but accessibility-wise, I've got to say,
it's not fine. It goes back to my point at the beginning. It's not fine.
No, it's fine.
It's just because that's what we're getting used to.
No, stop. It's fine, as in I wasn't expecting it to clean any better. I wasn't expecting it to be any more accessible than that, because I can say, turn on the G50 and it will turn on. But the actual skill for the Eufy isn't great. That's all I'm saying.
So you can turn it on, but that's it.
And you can stop it. I can't send it home. I haven't figured out that. There's buttons on the thing, so I can just press a button and it does it. Trying to find it when it runs out of battery around your house is an absolute nightmare until you just forget about it and then fall over it. But aside from that, I got to say, though, the Roomba, so much more expensive, but the app from an accessibility point of view and the skill, it makes a big difference. There, I'm saying it. For once, I'm saying spend more money.
Well, That's what a way to come to the end of an episode. Shaun said spend more money. I think there's people who'll be collapsing in a heap listening to that. Look, this is the problem for me. It's just, I'll be honest, I was never massively keen on the whole robot vacuum thing for a couple of different reasons.
I love them.
It's just because you can't have it everywhere. You know, if you've got, it's never going to manage to clean the way that, you know, you can with a vacuum cleaner, because, you know, it's never going to be able to get into everywhere. If you've got a table and chairs, for example, and you push all the chairs together, it's never going to get in the middle of all that to clean. You know, which you kind of need it to do, right? It's not going to be able to pull the chair out and clean.
No.
Maybe that's why we do need a robot that is a human with that. It can pull the chairs out and do all that. So get Optimus. Is that his name? Optimus from Tesla. Get him to do it.
Yes. I found that the more traditional vacuum cleaners, I'm just banging so much stuff now. You know, I just find it easier to let the robot vac do it. I do find it tricky. There, I've said it. People could do anything.
It's funny you say that, actually, right? About, you know, banging the vacuum off the walls, right?
Yeah.
My cleaners, like the racket these guys make when they come in, I'm like, come on, you know, mind my walls, guys, come on.
It's a disgrace. You want to get get them replaced with robot vacuums.
No. Because I just, you know, I prefer it being done properly.
Okay, fair enough. Good point.
And also, I will say, if you've got a Labrador with long, as you do, with long hair,
yeah, forget it.
That's a nightmare. That's the other issue. It doesn't never feel powerful enough, you know. But
yeah. Is there any guide dog news update, by the way?
No, haven't had a thing. So either I've been abandoned or we're still waiting.
Okay. And WeWALK update? Any problems?
Well, yes. Funny you mentioned that. We've had a lot of emails in about this. A lot of question marks. A lot of not question marks about the product. Questions to me about the product.
Okay.
So I'm going to be going out next week with the WeWALK and recording on the basis of a lot of your questions. So if you do have more questions, send them in, and I will get to them and have, you know, try and add that into my review. But lots more to talk about in the WeWALK in the next couple of weeks. We're out of time though. It's always been fun. This has been good today. Do keep the feedback coming. Tell us your thoughts on what we're talking about, and we'll chat with you tomorrow. Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.